Hi, my name is Phil Cogger and I work with WorldShare as a development manager. We've been working in Myanmar since '97 and I help to promote Grace Haven Ministries and Reverend Cha to the people here in Australia. Myanmar has been a very closed nation. It was regarded before becoming independent as being the breadbasket of Southeast Asia. The corruption of the government has led to huge disaffection. They've had civil war constantly for many years now, and huge problem with drugs, orphans, HIV, AIDS, and education is almost non-existent in many of the situations there. So it's a very devastated country. Well, how do we help all these different needs within Myanmar? Well, CNEC, our affiliate in Singapore, met with Reverend Cha and his wife Susan and saw them working with these kids and helped them, said, listen, let's build an orphanage. So they started Grace Haven Ministries. And looking after all these kids, they said, let's give them an education. And so they started to teach them Chinese and have Chinese schools started. And then they said, well, how do we reach kids who are not part of the orphanages? And so they started study houses to go to university. So people who are not Christians would come and have a Christian witness, and then they'd improve their lives as they go to university. And then church planting is a very big issue. So that lots of people have come there, hundreds of pastors have come through and are studying and leading churches now. And then when disasters occur, such as Cyclone Nargis and this latest flooding in Myanmar, there's a whole resource of these people who are able to come and share God's love with the people who have been devastated. The government disowns them, and yet the Christians from Grace Haven Ministries are able to come there and they supply food and help build their houses and stand with them in their hour of need. Well, in the future, what's the way forward? Well, Burma is a significantly Buddhist country, and so reaching into the Burmese people is a tremendous goal that Reverend Cha and Grace Haven Ministries have. So the orphanages and the education opportunities, these are great ways to do that. And so places like Putao, which have been devastated by AIDS and so on, there's kids who are just roaming around and now they've got a place that they can actually get fed and be looked after and housed, and so they start another orphanage up there. So the orphanage is expanding. Sponsoring a child is the way that's going to affect the next generation as these kids get looked after and have a godly input into their lives. Continuing to grow the schooling is so important because then they can get a godly education as well as getting education to do what they would need to do in their lives. Some of the other things that they want to see expand, of course, is their church planting. And so with the disasters that have happened there, they've got relationship now and are able to go back there and to start churches amongst those people. So church planting is also very significant. One of the things that Reverend Cha is very interested in is to be training the pastors. And so there's some land that they're purchasing just outside of Grace Haven's main ministry in Lasho, where they're wanting to put together a college or a training place. One of the significant plans at the moment that they see are very successful is having these little precious student training centres or hostels. So kids who are unable to get an education can come to this hostel. They're able to then access local schooling and to also have Christian input there. So the students program is also a significant opportunity to minister to the next generation. So how can you help? You know, obviously prayer. Prayer changes things. Can you pray for Reverend Cha? And also prayer for these kids. You know, we want you actually to be in relationship, in partnership with them. So praying for these kids, take a sponsorship, pray for them, write to them, communicate to them, and believe for them. Maybe even sponsoring a student centre. Another thing that we do is that from time to time we would take teams into Myanmar and work in the orphanages, and you could do that. We could help to train you as WorldShare, and you come on a WorldShare team, you work with the orphans, you go to the schools, you see the pastors planting churches, and you're involved with that ministry. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to listen to us. If you want any more information about Myanmar, just look us up on our website, and we would love to have you be involved. You know, we want as many people as possible to be partners with us in this ministry to extend God's kingdom. You can have a part in growing the kingdom of God in Myanmar. Thank you.